It's the season of listings and a season of QIP. I think it's the year-end QIP that's all coming out. So I'll highlight a couple and then take you through a couple of order wins. Rail companies, they seem to be in great stead and have been in great stead pretty much all of last month. Texmaco, RVNL and Railtel, they've all won orders. So Texmaco got an order worth 187 crores, so watch out for this one. It's going to be a positive start for them. RVNL has got an LOA for about 270 crores, so the stock will see a uptick in trade. Railtel has won a small order, but they will orders every day these days, so the counter will see an up move on back of a 38 crore order that they bagged. Gravita and HCC have opened a QIP. With Gravita, the QIP price, the floor has been set at 2200. HCC, it's a sort of largish QIP that they are looking to raise, 400 crores with an option to scale up to 600 with a floor price of 45. And Neeraj, the producer asked me, what do you think? Gravita, HCC, up or down? You want to answer that for me because I don't know.
Yeah, the appetite for HCC I hear is very strong.
So up?
If it does turn out this way, if it does turn out well, the appetite, then the stock may actually do well.
Positively.
So let's wait and watch.
And Gravita more than likely should be slightly lower. So you want to watch out for those two on. I'm still going with HCC flat, Gravita up. I'm hedging myself, and all your rail stocks up because they've bagged orders.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Yeah, so it's an interesting set of names. Indus Tower was on my list, Samina. Yeah. I mean, interesting. It's a contingent liability, but nevertheless, so the news is, viewers, that the IT appellate has passed an order in favor of the company on denial of depreciation on assets. They were denied depreciation. IT appellate has said, okay, the decision is actually in your favor now, so you will be allowed, which will result in reduction of 3,500 crores of contingent liability. I presume this would mean positive for Indus, so maybe a thumbs up for Indus Towers in the session today. So keep an eye out for that one. I thought this one, the Shriram Properties news is interesting as well. The promoter entity has acquired 5.2 lakh shares in Shriram Properties Holdings from another promoter and therefore now owns 48.47% stake. Typically, promoter enhancing stakes in holding companies or the subsidiary companies should be viewed positively. Maybe this one reacts positively. Let's keep an eye out for this one. And the third one on my list, Samina, I've chosen the Investec note on paint, since we spoke about it. They have a sell on Asian and Berger, but it's not about the call on Asian and Berger, but the fact that they did a dealer feedback roadshow, and they are saying that the dealer feedback is that Grasim is actually doing well. The products are being accepted. The dealer feedback and the painter feedback is also very constructive on Grasim products, and therefore, Birla Opus that is, and therefore, there might be higher competitive intensity in the offing. One, because Grasim is doing well, so it obviously eats into the market share of the others. Berger has gone ahead and also made inroads into areas which were specific domains of Asian Paints earlier. So everybody's now trying to do everything because they have to fight for the market share.
Asian Paints at this stage.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe Asian Paints is also trying to defend its stuff. But I don't know if it leads to impact on margins. So there, actually, the crux of the note seems to be that even if Grasim doesn't get very high luck, even then the competitive intensity means that profitability could be under stress, and therefore they have in their terminology, a fast sell, but effectively they are negative on the paint companies. So while these companies have come off and people might think there is value because traditionally paint companies have been bought at lower levels and they have rebounded very quickly, could the scene this time around be different? I don't know.
More than likely, right? When you have a new entrant getting into the market, it does more often than not lead to a price war. And this is a cash burn. So Birla Opus obviously has got into the business with very, very deep pockets. And of course, what they're trying to do is increase market share, which is coming in at the cost of existing players or legacy players, like we call it, in terms of Asian Paints. What I do think, Neeraj, though, is it's not like these guys are going to go out of business, right? I think there'll be expectation setting, which may happen a couple of quarters down the line. We've lived through a decade or decades where paint companies have been dominated by one or two players. That, of course, now set to change. But does that mean that this is a story that's over and done with? No, definitely not. It could just be a new normal where margins may be slightly lower and the industry will adjust to that for now. So that's what we have on paints. But you want to just talking about paints and ancillary to the space, I wanted to mention Nitco Tiles. So Nitco has managed to bag an order, and this is a big one, 105 crores. And guess what? It comes from Prestige Estates. So while people aren't buying cheaper paints or buying new paint companies, Nitco is selling tiles, and they're selling tiles quite a bit. That to no one other than Prestige Estates. Makes me also believe that this could mean that Prestige is in good stead, right? Because they're aggressively going on and constructing. They're also anticipating another 104 crore order coming from Prestige in the next couple of days for Nitco Tiles, Neeraj.
Yeah, so that is an interesting one. I thought maybe real estate stocks remain in focus today as well after yesterday's big move. But from amongst newsmakers, the other one is Texmaco Rail. It's a small order win, 187 crores, which is fine. But GMR Airports was the interesting one. Where total airport passenger traffic up 14% at 1.12 crore passengers. And the aircraft movements are up 8% at 69,540. So that seemed interesting. And from brokerage names today, there are a lot of initiating coverage notes. There is Investec has come out with a note on Afcons Infra. Piramal has a note on...
Afcons had the big 1,000 crore order win yesterday,
that too, right?
Yeah.
So this note is interesting, and I'm sure we'll talk about it later on. But I don't mind mentioning this JM Financial note on Piramal Pharma, because they are giving credence to the CDMO presence of Piramal Pharma. They were buy with a target price of 340, Samina, which is a 36% upside. They pencil in 23% EBITDA CAGR. For Piramal Pharma over the next 3 years, and they believe, or their math suggests, that it's trading at about 17 times FY27 EV EBITDA, which is about a 38% discount to average listed peers, and therefore they are going long on Piramal Pharma, so could be interesting one.
I don't know whether did you mention Mankind Pharma,
no,
the QIP? That's another significant one. Of course, nothing comes here as a surprise, because even we've talked to management a couple of times, and they were all looking to fund a very significant acquisition that they made a few months ago of Bharat Serums and Vaccines for 13,630. That was the cost of the acquisition for Mankind Pharma. They have raised a QIP for about 3,000 crores. So partly going to be funded through equity, partly going to be funded through debt. For now, this QIP has been announced, and it's being offered at a floor price which is at a 5% discount to yesterday's close. The stock did go home higher by 2% yesterday, but the floor price has been set for 2,616. Now, this is an extremely large QIP. The market wasn't sure how to read into this significant acquisition that they made of Bharat Serum a few months ago. But it feels like it's all coming together. Management is confident that this should be revenue accretive from the get-go, and they should be able to build into the segment of women's healthcare products and contraceptive products. That is a huge segment that Bharat Serum plays into, which the expectation is that Mankind Pharma could also leverage from. So that was Mankind, but a quick mention on another stock that caught my attention. Again, not too surprising, but it's Vedanta. I mentioned this yesterday, where the board was looking to announce an interim dividend, and they've approved a fourth interim dividend of 8.5 rupees per equity share. And the total dividend payout will now account to about 3,324 crores. So I could imagine that stock should react positively. The cutoff date was probably a few days ago, but we'll get more details on that. So that's